Hey everybody, welcome back to BK's Bullets. Today we're doing our Venom movie review. Hey everybody, welcome back to BK's Bullets. As always, I'm your host, Brent Cosina, and I saw the new Venom movie last night, and I'm here to tell you that it's not that bad. My wife and I, we got a sitter, we put the kids with the sitter, and we went on, out to dinner real quick, caught the movie a little bit earlier than normal, but we had a good time at Venom. We both did. And my wife indulges me on these comic book movies. She does enjoy them, so it's not like I'm dragging her to anything. If there's a hot guy who takes his shirt off, she's definitely in for these comic book films. In fact, that's why she likes Captain America so much, because Chris Evans, big muscles, all that stuff. She's really hyped up on Aquaman. She likes Jason Momoa, muscles and hair. She's really good with that. Something I can't offer her with the muscles part. I have plenty of hair, just not the big chiseled muscles. But then again, I don't have all day to train like those movie stars do and have a personal trainer and personal chef who cooks them all their food and makes them work out 5 times a day for 3 hours, whatever. But anyway, back to Venom. So this is a Venom movie. It's produced by Sony in association with Marvel Studios, as you will see all over the credits of this movie, just to get that Marvel thing on there, with Marvel Studios being set up for 10 years now, as well as give them some street cred, I guess, so that you don't write it off right away because it's not a Marvel movie. Now, was Marvel Studios involved in this movie? Probably not, absolutely not. In fact, I think I read this morning the director said they didn't have any conversations at all with Kevin Feige. So, does it exist with the Spider-Man universe, with Spider-Man Homecoming and the upcoming Spider-Man Far From Home that comes out next year? We'll find out. That's yet to be seen. Does Venom have a white spider ever at all in this movie on his chest? No, which is disappointing. But it should be that way. The way they've set it up is that he hasn't even encountered Spider-Man yet. Heck, he doesn't even swing from buildings because the guy, Eddie Brock, hasn't heard of Spider-Man or can't even think of doing the same thing. And I think that's totally fine. It makes sense within the movie universe. So let's talk about the movie. It's directed by Ruben Fleischer, stars Tom Hardy, Michelle Williams, and Riz Ahmed, and Jenny Slate. So, all those characters have pretty good arcs. Michelle Williams being kind of the weirdest one. She plays like his fiance at the beginning. She's like the love interest, and then things happen and she's no longer the fiance, and then she's kind of just there at the end and has an FU moment, as it were, to the villain and things like that. Riz Ahmed in this movie is not very memorable. He's a little forgettable, but he's not terrible either. He's not tuning scenery like Tommy Lee Jones in Batman Forever or anything like that. He's just kind of almost like a megalomaniac of a CEO corporate level who, given the opportunity, would absolutely take power and do whatever he wants with it. So, not bad. Tom Hardy is easily the best thing in the movie as Eddie Brock and also doing the voice of Venom. I read some interviews where he actually did the voice of Venom, read the screenplay and stuff and recorded it before doing the scenes for the day, and had a little earwig, a little wireless headphone in him, so that he could hear the Venom lines in his head, in his ear, that he recorded earlier, so that he could react to them in time and stuff like that. And watching this movie, it's really clear that Tom Hardy put a lot of work in this character, even just as Eddie Brock, to make him, when he's got the symbiote in him, when he's first getting used to hearing the Venom voice in his head, which is a great effect. I love the voice and the way they use it when he's talking to not each other, or not himself rather, but to the person in his mind. He's talking aloud, and the things he says or the way he reacts when you hear the Venom voice inside his head is some of the most fun I've had in movies in a long time. Movie's very humorous, and I think you should take it that way. If you go in to see this movie, I don't say go in with very low expectations. I went in with low expectations, and I did have a lot of fun. But I went in knowing that this movie's probably a little cheesy, probably a little weird, because the whole voices in the head angle and the aliens and stuff. And you know what? We had a good time. At the end of the day, it's pretty much a fun sci-fi movie. And, not the biggest budget, not meant to be taken super seriously, but meant to be had a lot of fun with. So I think if you go in thinking that, you're going to have a great time with this movie. We certainly had a lot of fun, and we'll definitely be watching it again the next time the opportunity arises, when it comes out on home video. So, that being said, let's talk the real comic book stuff, the stuff you came here for. Is it, faithful to Venom? Absolutely. The guy is, beating people up, using the tendrils in great ways. Everything is always shifting. The big teeth are there, the mouth is there, the tongue is there, which I love. The only thing I guess they couldn't figure out how to do, and I think I've seen this with, in like the Lord of the Rings movies, the mouth of Sauron was basically like a bunch of big teeth. And if you talk like this with your teeth all the time, you can't really articulate because you don't have the tongue and lips to articulate with. And I just gave you guys a terrible image that you could probably gif me to hell with it. But anyway, so, Venom doesn't really have lips. It's just a big chomping mouth all the time. But so they did go that extra step of making him articulate his voice without really giving him lips or a tongue, which I think, it's not that realistic, but it's an alien symbiote. Again, it can do pretty much whatever it wants, so why can't it have a voice box down here that doesn't need all that extra crap? And also, too, when you add that stuff over the comic book image, which is always just a big jaw and teeth, it would look really weird, almost as if you've seen, like, anytime they make, like, a dinosaur talk or a dog talk, and they give it lips and all the human stuff, it just looks really off-putting. So the fact that there's just this giant set of chompers, I think is totally fine. The White Spider, we kind of addressed that earlier. They gave him some, like, white veins and stuff, and they look cool enough, I guess. My big complaint watching the trailer and was that basically it was Venom fighting another symbiote who looked pretty much the same color. I think they did some color corrections before the movie came out because Riot, the Venom, anti-Venom or whatever, he's not that either. He's another symbiote that takes over Rizamed, and he's the guy with the big blades you see in the trailer and stuff like that. In the trailer, they had the big blade shot, and they had a shot of Venom and this other symbiote kind of going at each other. Venom was black with white, and this guy looked kind of a gray. And in the final movie, he's actually much more silver. So he does stand out apart from Venom when they are battling. So it is easier to tell when things get really messy and tendrily and stuff like that. It is easier to tell who's who and whom you're rooting for and things like that. So that was a nice touch. It didn't have, it almost is like felt like they looked at Black Panther again and said, okay, one guy's gold, one guy's purple. We can kind of tell the difference between them, so let's do the same thing. Ant-Man had the same almost issue. Here's a red guy, here's a yellow guy. This time they didn't go with primary colors. They went with, black and silver, but that's fine. I didn't have any confusion at any time at all in the final battle of who was who and who was doing what. So that's a plus for the film. You always want that. So Venom, perfectly serviceable. I had a lot of fun. I would give it 3.5 out of 5 stars if I had to give it a rating. I wouldn't exactly call it good, but I had a good enough time, that I didn't feel like my my $10 or so was not well spent. We had a great time at the movies. I've taken my wife to a couple movies in the past couple of years where she's looked at me and said, like, you really should have told me what this was about. And I always kind of look at her like, you should probably watch the trailer before we go out to a movie. But this one, she didn't watch any trailers or anything, and she had a good time, which makes me look good. So there's that. So thanks guys for watching, and let me know what you guys thought about the movie down below. Are you gonna go see it? Did you go see it? Are you holding out for something better? And I didn't even mention the end credits stuff. The very, very last one is a preview of the Into the Spider-Verse Miles Morales movie that's coming out in December. Was hesitant on the movie. I was going to go see it no matter what. But the animation, the kind of jittery stuff, but that extended sequence, I don't know how long it was, maybe it was 5 minutes, convinced me to go see that film 100%. And it looks really, really good, a whole lot of fun. So definitely, that's after everything, after the entire credits. The mid-credit scene is the Venom after-credit scene, and all the rumors you've heard are true. Woody Harrelson, anybody? I just was like, oh man, they're going there when it showed up. If you don't know, there were rumors that Woody Harrelson was on set for the Venom movie to play Cletus Cassidy. And I didn't really explain it to my wife, but Cletus Cassidy is Carnage, which is the son of Venom. And he's actually like the red and black guy with the big black teeth, and he always has sharp things coming out of him. He's basically what if you gave a serial killer the ultimate weapon kind of thing, and he goes nuts. and kills a whole bunch of people when he gets the Venom suit, or the Carnage symbiote, whatever it is, and murder everywhere. So if that's the sequel, it's definitely going to need to be R-rated, that's for sure, or else it won't be worth it. That's that's a definite. But Woody Harrelson is Cletus Cassidy in this movie, wearing a red wig that looks ridiculous, but Cletus Cassidy always looked ridiculous to me in the costume in the comics, with that big red curly hair he always had. So it's there. It looks like a lot of fun. Let's hope it happens. If Venom has a good enough opening weekend, you can guarantee pretty much that we will see Carnage in the next Venom Carnage movie, whatever, with Woody Harrelson, hopefully as Cletus Cassidy. I think that's a great thing. So check it out. Thanks for you guys for watching. As always, I will see you guys in the funny pages.